Good morning, everyone. This is Lynn Sugiyama speaking on behalf of the Arizona Buddhist Temple. I'd like to begin my Dharma talk with a reading from the Shoshin. So let's put our hands together in Gasho, and please listen to this verse. When a single thought of joy and gratitude is awakened in us, we shall realize nirvana without severing our blind passions. When ordinary people and sages, as well as those who commit the gravest offenses and abusers, are taken into the vow, they become one in spiritual attainment, just as many rivers become one taste entering the ocean. Please join Gasho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. I want to thank you for your support of the temple, and also want to thank each and every one of you for watching our videos. Several years ago, I had the opportunity to visit Springerville, Arizona. Springerville is a small town on the northeast corner of the state. It's a very beautiful area with forest and meadows, and you can find deer and antelope in the meadows in the area. So it's very different from the hot, dry climate, desert environment of Phoenix, Arizona. Back in May of 2011, there was a fire that consumed that region, and it became known as the Wallow Fire. It burned some 841 square miles of forest in that region, and it became one of the largest fires in Arizona history. When you reflect upon the history, the fire was started by two cousins who were hiking in the area. One morning, they had built a campfire and they made their breakfast. And after breakfast, they put out the campfire and went on their hike to the forest. Unfortunately, the campfire was not put out completely. And so the embers from the campfire slowly drifted out of the area and landed onto the trees into the forest where they were camping. And soon, one tree caught on fire and then another, and thus started this whole forest fire in that region. So later, authorities arrested the two cousins, and they pled guilty to charges that they were very careless about putting out their campfire. It is said that they owed millions of dollars for the property damage that they caused. They were unaware that their campfire was not put out completely, and this carelessness caused so many people to suffer. So what they did, I was wondering, did that make them evil persons? In the moral sense, the answer is yes, in that they were careless about not taking care of their campfire properly, because it made so much damage to property and it made many people suffer. They were foolish in not taking care of their campfire completely. In the religious sense, in the sense of Shin Buddhism, it teaches us that all of us, we are all capable of doing the same foolish and evil activities just like the two cousins. In the religious perspective on evil, I myself am this evil person. So the evil, in the sense, is not being purely evil. It's just that when I try to attain enlightenment on my own, when I try to do my own Buddhist practice of the teachings, I am trying to attain nirvana by my own power. So although I try to be a good person by practicing the Buddhist teachings diligently, I am relying on what is called jiriki, or self-power. So as a foolish and quote-unquote evil person, I cannot practice the Buddhist teachings thoroughly and consistently. It is easier for me to rely on tariki, or the other power. And so, to understand this other power, it is important to accept Amida Buddha's wisdom and compassion without doubt. This is similar to babies and their mothers. A baby completely relies without doubt on their mother's love, on the food, and on their warmth. So our seeing Buddhist practice is very much like the baby. We rely on the Amida Buddha without doubt, and Amida Buddha accepts us just as we are. There's a Buddhist story that's very similar and that hits home on this concept. Suppose there are parents and they have 7 children. If one of the children gets sick, the parents, they love all 7 of the children equally, but they will focus their care on the sick child. They will make sure that that sick child becomes healthy. And so this is just like Amida Buddha's wisdom and compassion for all of us. It goes to us equally, but it specifically goes to the person who is sick or who does evil deeds. So we could find this within our own families. For me, I have 2 sisters. And we know that our parents, they loved us equally. But when one of us was sick, our parents took care of that sick child. If one of us was naughty, our parents scolded the child who was naughty. And they made sure that they taught all of us correctly. So when I think about my own time growing up, I think I was always the good child. But if you talk to my sisters, they would say that I was the bad one. So when we recognize the evil of our human nature, it is said that we try to develop these 3 feelings that help in our faith in the Amida Buddha. When we develop a feeling of apology, we recognize our foolish and ignorant ways. We will then feel sorry for all the hurt that we've caused family, friends, and to other people that we may have encountered. We realize how powerless we are in controlling our own decisions, our own destiny, and the things that we have in our life. Next, we develop a feeling of great joy. For when we realize that we are incapable people we realize that we must rely on the other power of the Amida Buddha. We will feel joy, great joy, when we openly accept Amida Buddha and his vow to save all of us. And so Amida Buddha, he is within our heart and in our mind. And finally, we have the feeling of gratitude for the compassion and for the wisdom that Amida Buddha saves us as foolish and evil persons. The thought of joy and gratitude awaken within us. And we say Namo Amida Butsu. We say the Nembutsu to say thank you to Amida Buddha for accepting us as we are. So from my reading from the Shoshinge, I state that we all feel great joy and gratitude that opens our heart and mind when we realize our own enlightenment just as we are. We discover that we can attain nirvana just as we are. So even though we may be filled with blind passions of greed, anger, and stupidity, we are able to recognize these imperfections and that we become one in our spiritual attainment. We all can attain spiritual attainment equally, and that we are equally given the same faith of other power by Amida Buddha. So this is just like the love that we receive equally from our parents. We receive the love and compassion of Amida Buddha equally, no matter how many siblings we may have. So to conclude, when the two cousins, when they started this forest fire through their ignorance, we are all capable of doing the same thing. We're all capable of doing these evil deeds. However, when we recognize that we are this evil person, then we realize that without doubt, we must rely on the wisdom and compassion of the Amida Buddha for our attainment of birth in the Pure Land, for our attainment of enlightenment. Shinran Shonin, he had his great teacher, Master Honen, when he was alive. So Master Honen taught Shinran Shonin that we attain birth in the Pure Land by being our foolish selves. By saying Namo Amida Butsu, we're able to express our gratitude to the Amida Buddha for accepting us as foolish and as evil persons, and that this acceptance leads us to our attainment of enlightenment. So let's remember and continue to learn the Shin Buddhist teachings together, and that we continue to think and that we accept and rely on Amida Buddha for his compassion and for accepting us as we are. So thank you for listening. In closing, I'd like to again read from the verse from the Shoshinge. It goes, when the single thought of joy and gratitude is awakened in us, we shall realize nirvana without severing our blind passions. When ordinary people and sages, as well as those who commit the gravest offenses and abusers, are taken into the vow, they become one in spiritual attainment, just as many rivers become one taste entering the ocean. Please join me in Gasho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. I want to thank you for your support. Please have a good day and please be safe. Thank you very much.